For millennia, when we stared up at the night sky, we mistakenly believed that the absence of sound indicated that we were alone. We told ourselves that the stars, despite the fact that they are limitless, kept their secrets hidden from us. In the event that something were to ever emerge from the emptiness that exists between the stars, we considered the possibility that it might be fleeting and leave behind little more than a sense of mystery. Those false beliefs have been dispelled. What was first a curious discovery of an interstellar object, which has been cataloged as 3I Atlas, has evolved into a story that has the potential to reimagine the position of humanity within the universe. It was anticipated that Atlas would behave in the same manner as any other visitor from interstellar space. It was meant to enter our system, make a complete circuit about the sun, and then be ejected back into the darkness, with its path never again crossing ours. So that is what the laws of physics require. Oumuamua, the very first interstellar body that we have documented, was the subject of this particular occurrence. Hyperbolic velocities are the speeds at which these objects travel. They are so fast that the gravity of the sun is unable to grasp them. They appear and disappear, leaving us to stare after them like a stone that has been thrown too quickly for the gravity of the Earth to contain it. But Atlas did not follow the regulations. It slowed down, rather than speeding away from the situation. Neither by colliding with another body, nor by passing a planet in a series of ideal gravitational slingshots, but rather by crashing into another body. It coasted and burned in a carefully calibrated pattern, as if it were carrying its own propulsion system, and it lost momentum in bursts. What kind of natural mechanism may provide a pattern that is similar to how a spacecraft manages its fuel? According to a large number of individuals who have examined the evidence, the answer is none. When the United States National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, confirmed the new course of Atlas, the statement was made using clinical and technical terminology, as if the words themselves could reduce the severity of the situation. As a result of 3 months of continuous observation, the object has finally settled into a stable orbit around our sun. Its course has taken it from just inside the orbit of Earth outward beyond Mars and into the asteroid belt before swinging back around to the beginning of its circle. This orbit has a duration of 127 years, which indicates that it will continue to return to positions inside the inner solar system that are comparable to those it has previously occupied for many centuries to come. The time spent together was not a brief one. The arrival of a permanent resident was the event in question. Nevertheless, the particulars of that orbit speak more loudly than the announcement makes it seem. As a result of its nearly flat position in the plane comprising Earth and the other inner planets, its inclination is practically exactly zero. This indicates that it has the ability to observe us and our neighbors and has line-of-sight opportunities at every pass. It approaches within 15 million miles of Earth when it is at its closest approach, which is close enough that even amateur telescopes are able to track it. It conceals itself amid the asteroids when it is at its most distant, making detection of it significantly more difficult. The capture of a renegade body is not something that happens at random. This is a route that was selected with deliberate design, with the goal of maximizing long-term monitoring while maintaining a safe distance from both the gravitational pull of Earth and the deadly heat of the sun. Every observation adds to the growing body of evidence that artificiality is present. Readings that are high in metallicity suggest alloys that are not likely to form spontaneously. Initially consisting of straightforward mathematical sequences, radio transmissions have transitioned into structured data bursts that come at regular intervals of 6 hours according to a predetermined schedule. Smaller items have been observed by amateur astronomers as they have detached from Atlas and arranged themselves into geometric arrays. Each object has maintained a perfect distance from its neighbors and has only moved in order to maintain the pattern. Such disciplined behavior is not exhibited by any natural debris cloud. The results of thermal scans indicate that it emits a greater amount of heat than the sun could possibly explain, with concentrated hot zones indicating that it produces energy inside and regulates its temperature on purpose. In addition, not too long ago, Atlas started rotating in a controlled manner, rather than in a chaotic one, which resulted in the formation of artificial gravity across its surface. As a result of the disclosure, The scientific community is now divided down the middle. The cautious creed that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence is something that some people continue to adhere to. According to their argument, the phenomenon that we are witnessing may be explained by venting gas, concealed groups of smaller objects, or perhaps new astrophysical processes. Others, however, argue that this line of thinking is deliberate blindness. At a time when every natural explanation necessitates a collection of unlikely coincidences, it is possible that the most straightforward conclusion is the one that is correct. Atlas is a constructed system. These are not natural occurrences. The orbit, the deceleration, and the organized messages are all intentional components. These are one's options. The rising sense that Atlas might not even be the first is far more alarming than the fact that it even exists. As a result of digging through decades worth of sky surveys, researchers have discovered at least 17 more objects whose orbits do not conform to the current classification system. Some of them make frequent near approaches to Earth, some remain in positions that are ideal for transmitting signals, and still others, such as Atlas, appear to only make slight adjustments to their trajectory. Were we so naive that we mistaken a network of robots for harmless asteroids? Were we so overwhelmed by our preconceived notions? Is that the case, and for how long have we been under surveillance? All aspects of human existence are affected by the repercussions, which have a ripple effect. For countries, this is a situation that has never been seen before, both diplomatically and militarily. Who is the owner of an odd object? Regarding the Outer Space Treaty, does it fall under the jurisdiction of the treaty? Should nations compete with one another to achieve it, or should they pool their resources in order to respond collectively? The United States insists on having priority, citing the role that NASA played in the finding. China is adamant that space is a shared resource owned by everyone. As a justification for defensive actions, Russia has issued a warning that Atlas may pose a threat. The reaction should be spearheaded by the United Nations, according to the European Union. And beneath the public declarations are darker currents. Intelligence leaks suggest that numerous governments are already designing missions, some of which are scientific in nature, while others are focused at landing, sampling, or even boarding the object. On the other hand, what if getting close to Atlas causes a reaction? Is it possible that the smaller items that have been put around it are not sensors, but rather defenses? Suppose the entity or entities that are behind it regard our attempts to make touch with them as an act of violence. It was always thought that the first contact would be a long-distance communication, which would allow humans the opportunity to carefully compose messages that would be transmitted over light years. Instead, the unknown is parked in our backyard, located in such close proximity that any action could immediately escalate the situation. The shock is equally as great for non-specialists and everyday people. Regarding the theological weight of other intelligences existing alongside us, religions have a difficult time explaining it. The meaning of human uniqueness is a topic that philosophers strive to understand. There will be a future in which children will grow up in which the question, "Are we alone?" has an answer, and that response is that we are not alone. There is a proviso attached to every possibility for the future, whether it be colonies on Mars, mining in the asteroid belt, or expansion beyond Earth. In the world, we are not the only ones. A person is already present in keeping watch. As a result, humanity is currently experiencing a time that is unlike any other. The end of our cosmic childhood has arrived. Our perception of stillness, which we had previously mistaken for emptiness, has been disrupted, and in its stead we find observation, evaluation, and possibly even judgment. Atlas is the eye of a society that is so far ahead of us that its robots can travel the gulfs between stars and dwell here for generations. If it is a probe, then it is the eye of that civilization. As we dispute, speculate, and wonder about it, beings of unimaginable capability are already closer than any planetary, moving in calm orbits. If it is crude, then it is much closer than any other exoplanet. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.